Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us. Good morning, everybody. My name is Amy Van Ling. It is with a heart full of gratitude and love and joy and purpose that I am spiritual director here at Unity Inspired Living. And I am so grateful that we are here together. Welcome into our space, our spiritual community, where we invite you in to drop into that sacred space where you feel yourself, where you feel your truth, where you feel your heart center, and allow yourself to be bathed in the embrace, the warm embrace of this community where we accept you, we love you, we encourage you, to be the light that you came to be. Maybe you need a reminder of that today. And we're here to remind you of that you are a spark of divinity. And we're so grateful that you're here. If you're visiting for the first time, we're so glad that you're here. I consider it a divine appointment. So check out our website and reach out. We love to connect with you. Our theme this month is Adventure in Acceptance. And when we came up with the themes last year, I didn't really think about it, but now that I've been sitting with it this month, it's like acceptance is an adventure. It really is, because I mean, I love the topic. And I also acknowledge that in the heat of the moment, it's not always so easy to, allow. And so it becomes a little bit of an adventure at times. The other day I was listening to YouTube videos, talks as I often do. And it was Alan Watts, so I don't know why, but Sadhguru came on next. And of course, it was no surprise, no accident that it was about acceptance. He was talking about acceptance. And I don't know if you ever listened to him, but he could be pretty funny. And I appreciated the message because he was saying that what we normally call our personality is just different levels of constipation. Well, he's like, I don't like this. I can't stand that. I only do this, but I'll never do that. And he was saying that constipation, it's just constriction. And he said that all of that is just a case of constriction in our mind and our consciousness, and that we often will carry all that kind of stuff like badges, like, I like that guy, I can't stand her, this situation's terrible. And he said within ourselves, we must come to a sense of acceptance about everything. And he encouraged, in that talk anyway, that you take the next 24 hours to come to complete acceptance about everything in your life: physical, emotional, relational, situations you're involved in, and even in this world, socially, politically, whatever, just all of it. Accept it as it is. That you don't need anyone else to do anything in particular to come to acceptance. Just be with acceptance within yourself. And he said, if you do this, life will happen to you on a larger scale. So that was his wording, on a larger scale. And we know this to be true. And so I thought it was just a nice little tidbit for us this morning about acceptance. And I can tell you that I speak from doing the work. I always like to make sure that I am practicing what I preach, so to speak. And so yeah, it's where the rubber meets the road, really, is this piece of acceptance. So today I am absolutely joy-filled to be here with our dear beloved friend, Reverend TJ Woodward. He is a mover and shaker in this world, and he walks the talk of acceptance for sure, and shares his gifts with the world in truly profound ways. And he does know about acceptance. And I can say, just knowing him on a very personal, intimate level, that he operates from such a deep consciousness and a lens of truth and unconditional love. And I'm so grateful that you're here to share with us today the power of acceptance, because there is really so much power in acceptance. So thank you for being with us. We love you. We appreciate you. There is also a workshop today, From Complacency to Curiosity. So tune into that right following our talk this morning. We're going to move into the Zoom room, and everybody is invited. And I don't know anybody that can't use a little dose of acceptance in their lives. So come one, come all, share the link out. Everybody is welcome. It's from 11:30 to 12:30 Pacific time, and we will gather there after our Facebook live stream. So thank you, TJ, for saying yes to us and being with us this morning. We are always so grateful to share time with you. And also the Zoom link for the workshop I'll drop it here in the live stream feed. It's also on our website, unityinspiredliving.org, right on the homepage. So jump right in. Yes, and we are so tremendously grateful for the beauty, the inspiration, the love, the musical magic that Kalyani Marsh brings to us with her for her divinity. She brings such a deep sound healing, and I'm so grateful for you and the blessing that you are and the gift that you are to us and to the world. Thank you for saying yes to us this morning, beloved. And as always, we are so grateful to have our very own Jennifer Simpson with us. She is here shining her radiant, magnificent beam of light that she is, sharing our selected inspirational reading, some community announcements, and our prayer of plenitude this morning. So thank you, beloved, for being here. We welcome you into this space. Thank you for committing your energy and your time and your intention to activating the high vibration of this community, which I truly believe affects the world. And that is really exciting to me. But I hope it's as exciting to you as it is to me. So we are so grateful to be here together this morning, communing in a place of unconditional love. So let me just check back in here really quick and see how everybody's doing here. Hi, Luinda. Luinda's here. She says, good morning, everyone. Wonderful to see you all. Welcome back, TJ. Florence is here. She says, good morning, everyone. Yay. Carol says, what an awesome message. I know it's going to be good. Really, really good. Hi, I think Denise logged in. Jan says, we love you, TJ. Kalyani, welcome back. Indeed. Yes, I affirm it all. Let's just tune in momentarily here to our mission statement. Feel into the vibration of our mission together here. We are here fostering love and wisdom, inspiring transformation, offering compassionate outreach, and embracing unity. Tuning into that as we move into our community song this morning. I'm going to hand the screen over to Kalyani, and she's going to lead us in that. Remember that singing moves energy, opens your throat chakra and your heart space. So sing along at home. Nobody can hear you.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to be with you all. I'm really feeling this loving support and energy in this Zoom land, and this is a new song that I'm hoping you can sing along. It's just just do the best you can. It's called "Embodying the Sacred," and the sacred. What does that mean? It could mean many different things to different people. And I would like to introduce a definition as just preciousness, like I'm embodying my preciousness. I am seeing the preciousness of others. Embodying the sacred. So first we're inviting the sacred, then embodying, then seeing, then knowing all our sacred. I am embodying the sacred. Repeat that line. I am embodying the sacred. Next line. I am embodying the sacred. Repeat that. I am embodying the sacred. inviting the sacred, inviting the sacred, embodying the sacred. I am, I am, I am, embodying the sacred. Repeat that line. I am, I am, I am, embodying the sacred. Next line. I am, I am, I am, embodying the sacred. I am, I am, I am, embodying the sacred, embodying the sacred, embodying the sacred. I'm seeing all is sacred. I am, I am, I am, seeing all is sacred. I am, I am, I am, seeing all is sacred. Next line. I am, I am, I am, seeing all is sacred. I am, I am, I am, seeing all is sacred. Seeing all is sacred. Seeing all is sacred. Knowing all are sacred. I am, I am, I am, knowing all are sacred. I am, I am, I am, knowing all are sacred. Next line. I am, I am, I am, knowing all are sacred. Repeat that. I am, I am, I am, knowing all are sacred and precious. Knowing all are sacred. Knowing all are sacred. Embodying the sacred. I am, I am, I am, embodying the sacred. I am, I am, I am, embodying the sacred. Next line. I am, I am, I am, embodying the sacred. I am, I am, I am, embodying the sacred. Embodying the sacred. Embodying the sacred.
Wow, that was so beautiful and such a practice for acceptance. Knowing all is sacred, knowing all are sacred. Thank you, beloved. We're
Could you
grateful
sing
for you.
along? Did it work as a sing along?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
good. Okay, great. Great.
definitely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for singing.
Ah, thank you. Okay, beloved Jennifer, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Kalyani. It definitely worked. I loved singing that. And hello, sacred, precious beings of love. It's so lovely to be here with all of you. So let's begin with a few announcements. Be sure to join us all for the after service workshop with TJ. It is entitled From Complacency to Curiosity. And we always are inspired and challenged to dig deeply as we explore our topic. Workshop begins at 11:30 for 1 hour, and love offerings are encouraged. And as always, we are sending out a huge, heartfelt thank you to all who are continuing to support the Mitchell Van Ling Memorial Fund each month. Please make your donations on your checks, Zelle, or PayPal to the Mitchell Van Ling Memorial Fund no later than 2 days before the end of the month. Again, thank you so much. August events. Our community circle and potluck at Karen Mingus's home yesterday was enjoyed by all. Thanks to Karen for hosting our special time together. Thank you so much, Karen. And a big shout out to Marianne for stepping in for me. Thank you, Marianne. And if you are interested in hosting one of our third Saturday monthly community circle and potluck, please give Nancy Pimentel a call, email, or text. Thanks to all of you who continue to host this special event in your homes. We are so very grateful. A new book group started Wednesday, August 7th at 11 to 12:45, led by Robin Chatham. There is still time to join, and the name of the book is Building a Non-Anxious Life by John Deloney. The link is on our website, unityinspiredliving.org, under Connect discussion groups. And last but not least, we encourage you to like and share our Facebook page and our YouTube page every time you visit them. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Unity Inspired Living. It really does make a difference. Truly, truly, it does. All right, blessings and have a wonderful week, everyone. We are moving on to our inspirational reading, which is from Daily Word. And the word is, drumroll, acceptance. All right. With an open and willing heart, I accept the things I cannot change. I release the need for control, and the heaviness of judgment sinks like a stone thrown into the ocean. Free from the weight of negativity, I welcome people and situations as they are, not as I think they should be. When I am unhappy with something, I first discern whether I can change it. Most often, the only thing I have the power to transform is myself. I let go of negative thinking, denying that people and events have power over me. Acceptance means affirming the highest outcome for myself and others. I take responsibility for what is mine to do, and then I release the result by letting go and letting God. And from 2 Timothy 1:7, for God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline. And there you have it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, beloved, for all of it. Great reminder of the Serenity Prayer. I hadn't even thought of it this week, but yes, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. First line. Wow. Thank you, Jennifer. We love and appreciate you. I'm going to hand the screen back over to Kalyani for our next song this morning. Thank you, dear one.
Okay. This is relatively new. I decided to put a little reminiscent, a kind of a nod to an old song called Faith at the end of this song. And this is called, what is it called? I guess Give It to the Heart. I've experienced lately just how effortless it can be when I'm just in my heart. I mean, if I can just be in my heart, then everything else takes care of itself. And there's this kind of giddiness, like, oh, I get to be me, and I get to be in my heart. Like, I get to do that. It's like, why not do it? Well, working on that. So this is Give It to the Heart. So it has a little bossa nova beat. If I had a drummer. Okay. May I be? Is there a capo on here? No. I take the capo off because it's not okay. That sounds right. May I be in my heart where we all have a light. May I keep it lit. May I be in my heart where one can give and not be depleted. May I be in my heart so we can connect. May I be in my heart and become aware of the power when I give it to the heart where we all have a light. May I keep it lit. Give it to the heart where one can give and not be depleted. Give it to the heart so we can connect. Give it to the heart so we become aware of the power and the beauty of the heart where we all have a light. May I keep it lit. The beauty of the heart where I can give and not be depleted. The beauty of the heart when we connect. The beauty of the heart when we become aware of its power. The power of love. The power of love. I put my faith in the power of love. I put my faith in. I put my faith in the power of love. I put my faith in. We can be a blessing to the world. We can bring love's message to the world. I put my faith in the power of love. I put my faith in. I put my faith in the power of love. I put my faith in. I put my faith in the power of you and you and you and you. I put my faith in the power of you and me and you and me, you and me and you and me. Okay,
Yay, beautiful.
thank you.
Thank you, beloved. There's the feedback. Jennifer, I'm going to hand the screen back over to you. for our prosperity blessing. Thank you,
Thank
beloved.
you. Thank you. Hello, everyone, again. Let's put the power of our faith, of love, as we go deeper into our heart space, just breathing in there and knowing that we can open that up with our conscious attention. So I invite you to join me now as we move into a space of oneness with spirit. And let's open that up even more by doing a conscious breath of life, inviting in that inspiration to awaken. And like a light switch, with a dimmer, we're just pulling it up a little bit more so that it just is bright and we're able to shine a little bit more. So I invite you now to inhale, hold it, pause, and gently exhale. Quiet our minds and open to the great realization of an abundant universe. We connect with an inner stillness that is grounded in the divine flow of giving and receiving. We practice gratitude for all that life gives us and accept there is more coming our way. We align and operate from our divine nature to give freely from a compassionate heart to ourselves and others, assured we are never void. We set our intention to engage in right action that attracts opportunities to prosper. We are each a very grateful spirit expanding in this human life. We are gratefully succeeding in stepping forward into greater good. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, for creating that space for us this morning. We're grateful for you. Kalyani, somebody, I think Pat says she loves your earrings. Dancing. You're dancing
Thank
butterfly
you.
earrings.
These were put in the closet because my former partner said butterflies are just not grounded. And I feel like I'm a butterfly, So I said, wait a minute, this is me,
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that story. Wow. Thank you, love. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen over for our final song this morning.
Okay, this is an oldie but a goodie. I allow. See how I do. I think I have it memorized, actually, believe it or not. I allow every moment of time to heal. Yes, I allow it. I allow everything to be as it is. I allow every moment of time to heal. Yes, I allow it. I allow everyone to be as they are. Me, I surrender to what I'm truly here for. What's moving through me is so much more. Through me, the power of heaven and earth is made to flow when I let go. And I allow every moment of time to heal. But I allow it. I allow everything to be as it is. I allow every moment of time to heal. Yes, I allow it. I allow everyone to be as they are. To be all created I allow every moment of time to heal. Yes, I allow it. I allow everyone to be as they are. I allow, I allow, I allow, I allow all the love of God. I allow, I allow, I allow, I allow all the love of God into my life. I allow, I allow, I allow.
So beautiful. Thank you, dear one. Pat says butterflies are transformation, and I agree. Expansion. Mm. Thank you for all of it. Thank you both, Kalyani and Jennifer, for bringing your divine spirits to our sacred space this morning, shining your bright light. We love and appreciate the energy you be and the joy you share with us. Thank you for saying yes and being here this morning. We're so grateful for
Thank
you.
you. My
Mwah.
pleasure.
Yeah,
It's very lovely to be with you all. So
always,
thanks for the
always.
invitation.
Divine appointment. Thank you both. We appreciate you. I'll see you on this side of the technology screen. Hi, everybody. I am so grateful to be here with TJ Woodward. For those of you who are just getting to know TJ, I'm going to read you a quick little bio here because he's such a spectacular guy. We have to touch on some of this. TJ Woodward is a best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and revolutionary recovery expert who has helped countless people through his simple yet powerful teachings. He was given the honor of being ordained as an Agape minister by Dr. Michael Beckwith and is also the founding minister of Agape Bay Area in Oakland, which was the first satellite community of the Agape International Spiritual Center in LA. PJ is a featured thought leader on wholehearted.org and so many places. He's just all over the place sharing his powerful message, his wisdom, his love, his profound energy, which really makes a difference in this world. He's also the creator of the Conscious Recovery Method, which is a groundbreaking and effective approach to viewing and treating addiction. He has best-selling books and workbooks, and he's just simply amazing. I encourage you to check him out on tjwoodward.com. And I am going to take a moment to just pray us in, get us into this space, into our sacred space, and then hand the screen over. So I invite you, close your eyes if that's comfortable. Take an inward breath if that feels right for you, and allow this sacred space, allow your embodiment of this sacred, allow the sacred, and be with the connection to source, to open our hearts and our minds more deeply than even just moments ago. We can just sink deeper in, recognizing the one presence and the one power that Christ mind, Christ consciousness, that we are one with the holy presence of this source energy that is born into the world through us. Allowing our hearts to open, we awaken, we choose to be in truth, to make ourselves available to serve unconditional love. And we're so in this moment just tuning into how grateful we are to have TJ with us. We bless TJ, we bless this time. We awaken our field, our energetic field, to this present moment, to be here now, grateful for the wisdom of the message that is coming through this morning. We bless TJ and this service as we release this prayer for the good and benefit of all, in love, as love, for love. And so it is. Ashe, namaste, amen. Thank you, TJ. Handing the screen over to you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Amy. That was so beautiful. I'm so honored to be here with you. As always, I have so much affinity and love for this community over the years and our collaboration and the things that we've been through together and the way we have emerged through so much happening in the world together. And that really is the focus of the talk today, because when I reflected on the topic, the power of acceptance, I thought, well, what is acceptance not? And the two words that came to mind are compliancy and complacency. And compliancy is very simply, I agree with this. So when we talk about the power of acceptance, we're not talking about being in agreement with everything that's happening. And I think that's an important first place to start, because I think sometimes people will say some version of, well, the world is a really messed up place, but I'm just going to accept it and unplug so that I can be at peace. That is not really what I'm here to share with you today. What I'm here to share with you today is something much different than that. And that is, we are at a pivotal moment in human history. We are at a pivotal moment in the evolution of the consciousness of what we call humanity, because we are allowed right now in this very moment to make a choice. And that choice is, am I going to be at odds with people's, places, situations, the world, politics, everything happening in the world? Am I going to be at odds with that? Or am I going to be in the spirit of allowance? And what will it create? Because we want to take a look at moving beyond the paradigm, as I always talk about, the paradigm of good and bad and right and wrong. As soon as I go into a judgment, then I start to experience more of that in the world. It becomes profoundly simple. So the art of allowance, or the power of acceptance, is really being in curiosity. It's being in curiosity. What am I making this mean? And then what is that meaning creating in my life? And so the reason I say we're at a pivotal moment is we can either be against and be in resistance, or we can be in the natural flow of life. And I also looked up, and I'm going to read a few of these, because life is energy. And so if we think about life in terms of energy rather than life in terms of good and bad and right and wrong, we can start to ask questions like, what is the energy I'm bringing to this situation creating? What am I focusing on, and what is that focus creating? Not, is this good or bad or right or wrong? Not that I have to be compliant with someone or something. And I'm going to give you two really practical examples. So I lived in San Francisco for 30 years, and I would hear people complain about the fog. And I'm thinking, what could be, I'm just going to use the word, what could be more insane than to live in San Francisco and complain about the fog? It'd be like spending the winter in Seattle and complaining about the rain. It makes no sense, because as soon as I complain about the fog, which I'm pretty sure that at some point in the evolution of human consciousness, we might be able to affect the fog through our vibration. But at this point, the fog is what it is. The fog is here if you're in San Francisco, and I have a choice. Do I roll with that? Do I complain about that? And what do those two create? Not what's right or wrong, because see, I actually love the fog. Those magical nights in San Francisco where you can hear the foghorn and there's this crispness, this moisture in the air. I remember walking at night with my heavy coat on and hearing that sound and just feeling like this is the most magical experience possible right now. And then 5 feet from me, someone would be saying, I can't believe I live in this awful place that has this dense fog. Both realities are 100% true. There is not their version and my version, and the truth is in the middle. We don't have to agree to disagree. We can move into curiosity and say, oh, isn't that interesting that someone has chosen to live in a city that has fog, and then complain about it. So I moved to Los Angeles 3 years ago, and I vowed to myself, I will never complain about the traffic. It makes no sense. How would one move to Los Angeles and then say, I'm going to complain about the traffic, or I'm going to resist the traffic? What gets created when I resist? Is it going to make the 405 move any more quickly? Probably not. Is it going to allow more or less peace in my life if I think this shouldn't be happening? And I'm using these very simple examples because these are very tangible and concrete, and I like simple. Simply said, would it make sense to move to Los Angeles and say, I hate traffic, but I'm going to choose to live there? What does that create? Now, I promised I'd read these words. So I looked up the opposite of acceptance. And if it's true that life is energy, what I'm going to invite in this moment for you to do is to feel the energy of these words, which are the opposite of acceptance, and see what it feels like. Not are these words true or accurate, but what do these words feel like? Rejection, dismissal, turn down, disowning, brushing off, refusal, abandonment, shunning, snubbing, shutting out, cold shoulder, turning down, knocking back, disallowance, avoidance, exclusion. Do you feel the weight of those words? Do you feel the heaviness of those? And so the message I want to bring today is a message of profound simplicity. When I'm in the energy of not allowing all those words I just said, there's a vibrational quality to those words. And when I'm in that vibration, I will experience more of that vibration, but only 100% of the time. If I'm in allowance and I realize it doesn't mean I have to be compliant or complacent, because actually being in allowance creates more change than being in resistance. I'm going to repeat that again. Being in allowance actually creates more change than being in resistance. The reason I say we're at a pivotal moment in human history is because we always are. There's always this moment, and this moment is always pivotal because the decisions I make and the frequency I tune into right now will affect humanity in the future. And really, the future is a construct of the mind, but as we shift our awareness right now, it starts to not only have a ripple effect, but it actually changes consciousness. So it's not, acceptance is not, well, the world is really messed up, but I'm going to unplug so I can be at peace. No, it is, the world is what I call it. And as soon as I call it something, I experience it as such. And based on that experience, I will then have some kind of response or reactivity. And that response or reactivity creates what we call reality. And as Amy said earlier, or I just call it my personality. And so let's talk about politics. We're in the political season, which is interesting that we have these seasons, right? In the media, we've all heard the term, if it bleeds, it leads. For some reason, the media, and when I say the media, I'm talking about news in particular, but we're going to talk about social media in a moment. But if you think about the news has now realized what gets people to tune in, and that is drama. And there's something about hooking the human ego in drama that makes us want more, right? So I have noticed that when we are in this political season, we tend to start talking more about right and wrong and good and bad. And I understand the spirit of right and wrong and good and bad, but what gets created when I believe it's my job to post something derogatory about someone who I'm against? Do you hear the language? Well, people should know this. People should know what a terrible person she is or he is or they are. But what is that actually creating in my life? And I want to read, I have two quotes that I brought with me that I posted recently because consciousness is an algorithm. And I've said that before with this community. So what does that mean? An algorithm on social media is very simple. What you click on, you get more of. So have you ever noticed if you watch little cute stories about kittens and puppies, you get more stories about kittens and puppies? And so if you like kittens and puppies, continue to focus on them and the algorithm will give you more. If you like political division and hatred and ussing and theming, do you like those words, Amy? Ussing and theming? If you're ussing and theming, consciousness, also known as an algorithm, will give you more. It's not good or bad or right and wrong. It's neutral. Just like the idea that when we come into new thought, many of us have been trained that this idea of a God that is punishing or rewarding, and we come into new thought and we say God is energy, and energy has no judgment. There's no judgment in energy. It's just, what do I want to do with it? And as soon as I start to judge, I get more of that. So if I'm against something, my algorithm will give me more of it. If I'm for something, my algorithm will give me more of it. It becomes so simple. What I focus on is what I experience. And what I experience then becomes what I call reality. And then I have a series of responses or reactions to that. And then I call it who I am. But the truth of who we are is way beyond any of that. And the greatest paradox possible is, are we going to be against and at odds with and at war with, and then get more of that because that's the algorithm? Or are we going to move beyond duality? Because it's really often, and I've said it 100 times, I'm going to be for rather than against. But even that is duality. I'm going to be for this instead of against that. But when we reach a place of neutrality, a place of curiosity, and understand that I am literally holding a projector and I'm experiencing whatever I'm projecting onto the world as the world. And then I believe, like, if you might believe like I did throughout my entire 20s, that the world needed to change. Instead of understanding, oh, the lens is what I want to clear. And when I start to look for the perfection that is at the core of every human being, I have a complete shift in what I call reality. And then I have a complete shift in how I respond to what I call reality. And then that what I once called who I am becomes something completely different. So I'm going to read these two quotes because I posted both of these in the last few days. And one of them is from probably the greatest spiritual teacher of all time, and that is Mr. Rogers. He says, imagine if we all walked into the world with the belief that each person was inherently worthy. Imagine if our goal was to help each other recognize that we are worthy of being loved. Imagine if we sought to listen more than we spoke. Simplicity and power. Imagine if we were to begin to look for the wholeness, the beauty, the perfection that is at the core of every person. Because I get to make a fundamental decision. Because we come into unity teachings and we say there's one power and one presence active in my life. We say that each of us is a perfect expression of this one power. Well, except for that political figure. They're not an expression of love. That can't be an expression of love. And let me tell you all the reasons why not. And then I go into, unconsciously most often, all the reasons that this person can't be an expression of that love. What does that create? Then we build coalitions of people who agree with us. We can call those political parties, we can call them communities, we can call them activism. We have all these different ways we create tribes of people who agree with us so that we can feel safe. But true safety gets created in moving beyond thought completely together, beyond opinion. Again, the simple truth is, in this question, is our opinion-giving culture bringing us closer or moving us further apart from one another and from source and from the truth of who we are? From what Mr. Rogers is saying, to be able to see the worthiness in the person in front of me. I think I've probably told this story before, but it's so funny to me. So my dad and my stepmother they say they live in LA, Lower Alabama. And I live, of course, in LA, Los Angeles. And my stepmother came to visit. This is about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. And she said, oh my goodness, people are so nice in LA. That's not what I was told people in LA were going to be. So I said, well, what did you hear about people in LA? And anyone who's, I lived in San Francisco for 30 years, and people in San Francisco, for some reason, there's this consciousness of like not liking LA. And when I ask them why, they don't really quite have a reason. But Nancy, my stepmother, said, well, I was told they're going to be snobby and arrogant. Interesting. And then I said, well, don't worry. If I walk around right here in Los Angeles and ask people, what do you think of Lower Alabama? I'm guessing we'd probably get a few judgments as well. So what is the judgment creating? And what is the greater possibility? And this is the quote that I want to read in closing. And this is a quote I put out a few days ago on social media, and I don't know the source of it. Unfortunately, I found it somewhere on the internet, and it's not attributed to anyone, but it's really powerful. And it really is the essence of New Thought teaching. It's the essence of Unity teachings. But what I want to encourage here is I want to invite people to listen with an open heart and an open mind, because sometimes I'll post things or I'll read things and I'll say, oh, that sounds so lovely. Or isn't that wonderful? Oh, that warms my heart. What I'm inviting us to do in this morning is to move beyond that and to say, am I living this? Am I living this? And that living this, we talked about walking our talk, or talking your talk and walking your walk. There's an opportunity to move beyond these principles, and I say these principles being unity principles or universal truth, being something that sounds really nice to something that we can actually activate as a way of being. Not an idea or a point of view or an opinion or even a teaching, but an opportunity and an invitation to life. So I'm going to close with this, and I'm going to continue to give it a little bit of curiosity. As I read these words, I'm going to invite you to say, am I willing just for these next 24 hours to live this? Am I willing to practice this and to be this? Not to hear it through the lens of the mind and think, oh, that's so inspirational. The way you alchemize a soulless world into a sacred world is by treating everyone as if they are sacred until the sacred in them remembers. And I'm going to read it one more time, and this is what I'll close with. The way you alchemize a soulless world into a sacred world is by treating everyone as if they are sacred until the sacred in them remembers. That's my invitation for each of us to practice this, to go out into the world and to look at every being, every situation. If you're brave enough to watch the news, look at every situation through the lens. What's the sacred at the core of this? What's the sacred at the core of this human being? And what's going to get created when I see that in them? Because the truth of every being at the core is sacred. And what we can do is be a reminder of that. Anything that I say, anything that any speaker says, we're not here to teach. We're here to resonate with the truth that is at the depth of every soul. So my invitation for you is to go out into this world, out into your day, look for the sacred, feel into the sacred, and be in that energy field. Always an honor to be with you. Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, beloved. I am so grateful for you. It is always an honor to be together. I love that we were both in the same vibration of like, instead of just talking about it, like, how do we do this? How are we going to move forward when we log off and embody what we're talking about?
Absolutely.
Because I think it gets, sometimes it's easy to hear it and go, oh, yeah, that's great. I get it. And to take the next step to really have that self-inquiry. Am I living that? Am I embodying that? Is the important next step. And we're human. We can get wrapped up in things, and so we understand that. I love this. Am I willing for the next 24 hours to live this? And I love the quotes. I saw that quote that you posted about alchemizing and seeing everything as sacred. And really that's what it comes down to, is like, we say that's our core belief here. Right. Everything is in divine order. There is a divine plan unfolding. We know there are no accidents or coincidences. We say this in so many different ways. And yet sometimes in the moment or the political thing or whatever showing up, we're like, no, that's not right.
Right.
No, never mind. Never mind, spirit. Never mind, God. That's not right.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
true, except for this time.
For this time. Yeah. This one I'm out. I'm checking out. Yeah. So, and I've had this conversation, and I have a lot of compassion around it too, that, it isn't always just so easy, lickety split, like, okay. So I like to go back to the Course in Miracles for this. It's like just a little willingness. The Course says just you can be willing to be willing. So if you're like, I just can't quite touch that place yet where I'm accepting this, but you can be willing to be willing, and you would be so surprised, if you haven't done this before, at how just a little willingness opens enough space for it to just bust open.
Right?
And
Transformation.
yeah, right. To just be
Well,
in
and
that place.
I'm excited to talk more about, a lot of times we have time left over for Q&A, but we're going to bring that to the workshop. So I'm super excited because I really feel that at this time, with everything happening in the world, and this could be, it's funny because this statement could be made at any time, but I'll make it at this time. It's like with everything happening in the world, I want to really create a space in the workshop for us to really dive into and ask, how can we actually live this? Not just like sort of talk about these principles, but how do we activate them in our life? Because that's where it starts to really change. It's like, oh my gosh, all this time, I think Sue Morter says life is difficult and challenging until it isn't. And then I just go, oh my gosh, this whole time, all I had to do is like, but it took 20 years to go,
Get it. Yeah, let me see what's coming in the feed. Thank you, Carol. She was jotting down things as we were going along. What is the judgment creating? Yeah, like really come back to, what does this create? And I know you've talked about this so many times here. Just asking that question is very powerful, very profound. What is this creating in my life, in the world, in my family, in my workplace, whatever it may be? What does this judgment create? What does this create? It's such a tool to really come back to center and come into the space of like, am I willing to actually see everything as sacred?
It's interesting. I posted what I posted what might get created if we were to be for rather than against.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people commented, but no one answered the question. Because the question was, what would get created if we were? But they went into whether they agreed or disagreed whether we should be for or against. And I'm like, the whole question was, what would get created if we were to? Not that there's anything wrong, because judgment is perfectly acceptable if that's what you want. But you're going to get more of it. I mean, it's just simple, right? It's very simple, physics. So it's not like
algorithm. What did you say with the algorithm?
consciousness is an algorithm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
But
right?
I didn't go back and say, but no one yet answered the question. And because I don't want to be in that energy on social, but I'm just like, the question was, what might get created? Not why aren't we doing it, or we're doing it wrong? I never said that, right? So it's very, very interesting.
I mean, social media is a great place to observe.
It sure is. If you want to know about the collective human consciousness, just read the comments on any post.
Yeah. Such an important time, though, when we are in these sort of like political pools, the periods when there's, elections and whatnot, because I feel like, we are here for such a time as this. So it's like, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where, what do we say? Are you walking the talk? It's not, you don't throw that out the window because right now you feel like this is just too important to be in high consciousness.
Right. Well, and that's what's interesting, Amy, is that's what people say. I will hear people say, yeah, but this time, this person needs to be, we need to fight this person. And then I'm like, well, yeah, but then it's just the next person. And consciousness is something totally different. And I think somewhere in this, people hear, and that's why I said, I'm not saying I'm going to unplug from the world and it can just fall apart. Because we've been programmed to believe that if we fight it, it will create change. But we see throughout history, it doesn't work, right? Or it works short term. And it has a place. I'm not saying it doesn't have a place, but are we ready to evolve into the next level of consciousness? So I could talk forever.
I know we could both. This is our jam, right? Okay, let me see. Luinda says, yes, the core of every living being is a precious being. God doesn't make junk. David Miller says, Mr. Rogers, imagine what our real neighbors would be like if each of us offered, as a matter of course, just one kind word to another person.
That's right.
I love Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Carol says, seeing everything as sacred, moving from head to the heart for real. Um, Pat says, question about energy being neutral. Did you say more for that? How can we actually live this? Carol says, how can we actually live this? You mean the power of acceptance or the art of allowance?
Well, I think what the reference is referencing when I said if God is energy, energy doesn't have judgment, right?
Mm,
Energy doesn't have judgment. So if it's true that God or source is energy, then there's no judgment in there. We've just, anthropomorphized God through our own lens of consciousness. So if you look throughout history, the idea of God or supreme being is always filtered through the level of consciousness. That's why, if you look in unity teachings, we talk about the evolution of consciousness throughout the Bible, from the Old Testament to the New. It's a different consciousness that wrote about that or perceived it. But you could do that with any sacred text, right? Or any ancient text. You can look at how we've created the idea. So if we're continuing to create the idea of this power or this source as one that has judgment of good and bad and right and wrong, we're just going to get more of that. And many of us get taught that at such a deep level. And I know it's a big topic because then people will say, well, there has to be some things that are inherently right or wrong. And we could talk more about that, but maybe at the workshop. I don't know. I'm not trying to I keep saying that because I know that's a place we can really have a conversation.
yes. I'll say yes. Yeah, there's so much conditioning that it's the the unlearning piece, right? Of what we think we know, and when you really, you think you've gone to the layers, and then it's like, oh wow, like this is what we're talking about right now is a deeper, it's a deep piece of saying there's no right and wrong, right? And that there's a, I know that's sometimes not the easy one to digest. So yes, okay, so we're going to go into the workshop in about 20 minutes. So Christy says, what was the one line you said earlier about media? That I think was about the algorithm.
Was it? I mean, it could have
Con-
been when I said we've all heard the term, if it bleeds, it leads, or it could
oh,
have been consciousness is an algorithm. So I don't know which one, Christy, you're referring to, but you could always shoot me a message and I can answer it.
yeah, if it bleeds, it leads. I love that though, because it's just like the drama drums up the low the goo.
It hooks, right? It can hook that part of us. That's why, being free from that hook is the greatest freedom, right? Freedom from the reactive impulse is the greatest freedom, because if I can see where I get hooked, not if, it's when, right? Like, oh, I got hooked again. But it can happen instantaneously. Like, oh, I just saw, I have a judgment of that person, or I read this on social media and it activated a feeling or a response within me, whether that's oh, or oh, right. Both of those are just a reaction to something that's actually quite neutral. It's just I'm reading
Right.
words. So,
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, I've always said like practice the pause. The pause, there's so much in that moment to say, how do I want to respond? Do I want to go with that reactivity, or am I choosing something else? I mean, yeah, Christy said, yes, that's it. Okay. Freedom from the hook and the reactivity. Yeah, we're
yeah.
all on the journey. Beloveds, yay. Okay, so we are going into a workshop from complacency to curiosity. It's going to be powerful. Join us there. I'm going to drop the link here. It's on our homepage, unityinspiredliving.org. Right there. Jump in, share the link, because we love everybody to come in and have these conversations. Also, this message today, remember, share the post, share the video through YouTube or right here on Facebook. Yeah, we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to hear, to expand, to get the message in their inbox. And you're one of the ways we do that. So, Jennifer, okay, wait, let me see what Jennifer says. She says, thank you, TJ, for always inviting us into a space of holding the sacred in everything and living our life from the power of our heart, offering love to support the highest vibration possible, to stand in whatever we are experiencing. So grateful for you sharing your wisdom with us. Carol says, thank you. I know lots of love coming in. Great talk, TJ, says Luinda. Such great insight and food for growth. Yeah, that's what we like to do around here. Blessings, everybody. If your spirit, mind, heart feel touched, nourished, expanded by our conversation today and this being in this community, please consider visiting our giving page on unityinspiredliving.org. Our center is 100% supported by your generous contributions, and we thank you for that outpouring of love, because this energetic exchange enables us to thrive and keep sharing the message into the world. Hi, Mom. My mom's here. She says, thank you, TJ.
Oh,
Better. I love that. We are going to close with a prayer of divine awakening, take a little nourishment break, have a snack to nourish yourselves, get hydrated, and come back into our Zoom link. We have a little less than 20 minutes, so it's perfect. And we'll see you back there. Let me share the screen with you, our prayer of divine awakening. And I encourage you to speak this out, make this a declaration for your life, for your day. Feel into the feeling tone of the prayer of divine awakening. It's a new day, a beautiful day, a new beginning. I embrace this day with new eyes, an open heart, and expansive mind. I choose my vibrational frequency deliberately and consciously, harmonizing with life's events. I am receptive to source energy, divine guidance, and wisdom available to me at all times. I commit to serve unconditional love fully and completely. I move forward in a state of appreciation, an extension of the one magnificent power and presence. I am sovereign, whole, and free, claiming dominion over my life as I go in peace and awaken to my divinity. And so it is. And that is the freedom. There's freedom in the acceptance. Okay, I love you, TJ. Thank you so very much for saying yes to us and being such a sacred being in our community. We are grateful for you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us today. Shine on, bright ones. I love you so much. I will see you soon in the workshop. Blessings. Mwah.
peace and blessings, everyone.